Good morning. Thank you for coming today, and welcome to the beginning of another semester. It's good to see everyone back on the campus, and I hope everyone had a good holiday break and that your travel plans and activities were not thrown into disarray by, like a lot of people, by the polar vortex. I know that many of you were very busy as well with winter intersession and with grading. In fact, the registrar's office reports that more than 99% of the fall semester grade rosters were submitted on time. This is the highest percentage in at least 34 years. So, thank you. I want to thank everyone for your diligence. The students really appreciate it. I'd like to extend a special welcome to our incoming provost, Dr. Fraka Harmsen. Stand up, Fraka. Her first day on the job is going to be February 3rd, and she's been very busy preparing to move from Chico. At the same time, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Interim Provost Gossett. Stand up, Charles. Charles has worked tirelessly over the last several months, and he dealt with some very big challenges. And he, I think, happily will be returning to the faculty in SSIS. So, again, I want to thank both of you for what you've done and for accepting the job. Fraka, we're really looking forward to you coming and joining the campus community. I also want to welcome all the alumni and parents and community members and friends of the university in the audience today. Among those friends are representatives from the March of Dimes. Sacramento State is partnering with the local March of Dimes chapter this year, and I'll have an announcement regarding them later on this morning. We have another busy semester ahead, so I think the best thing to do is to get started. Now, Sacramento State is once again on target to meet our annual enrollment goal. About 1,750 new students will be joining us this spring semester, with a total head count likely to exceed 27,000. That's for the spring. It won't be, that's annualized, will be much more. Fall applications were also very strong, coming in just slightly below our all-time high. In terms of the budget for the CSU, we're anticipating another modest increase from the state. 2 weeks ago, Governor Brown released his budget proposal for 2014-15 fiscal year. The plan is generally good news for us and our students because it once again freezes tuition fees at all current levels. It also includes a general fund increase of about $142 million, which is in line with what we were expecting. Some of you may remember that the governor has proposed a 4-year budget plan for the CSU, and this is year 2 of those modest increases. As always, my usual caveat applies here. The budget can go through many incarnations between now and the summer. This year is also an election year for the state, so we will continue to monitor the developments at the Capitol very closely. For our campus, this means that we have to maintain the same cautious approach that we've developed during the years of deep budget cuts. In fact, the language in the governor's proposal itself is sending a message that we all should take to heart. The governor's proposal says, and I'm quoting here, "As the state reinvests in higher education, it cannot fund the business-as-usual model of providing instruction at its higher educational institutions." It continues to note that, and I quote again, "The state has just emerged from the largest recession since the Great Depression, and its finances remain constrained. The state must continue to rebuild its university's budgets, but only in a manner that is sustainable over the long term." End quote. So if anyone didn't believe that public higher education policy in California is transforming before our eyes, this is the latest budget summary that should leave no doubt about that. And here's what I feel is the biggest point. And again, I'm quoting, and here's the quote, "The administration's long-term plan moves away from funding higher education based on enrollment targets," unquote. The message, I think, is clear. As educators, we have to plan for the current and future needs of our students and California's workforce. We should be thankful for the promise of stability, but we must also look at change. I can report that Chancellor White has acknowledged the need for change as well. The budget proposal emphasizes as priorities, and I think all of you have seen this before, affordability, completion rates, time to degree, and transferring more students from community colleges. In many ways, we've already begun to make these changes as we redefine the possible at Sacramento State. And that's a credit to everyone who's helped us confront some very, very challenging issues. One example is our work to comply with the CSU's 120-unit threshold for programs. I'm happy to announce by this coming fall semester, all programs that formerly required between 121 and 129 units will be in compliance on this campus. This is a testament to the commitment of our academic departments to revise major requirements and the Faculty Senate to change general education. Thank you, faculty, for working with us to implement these changes. By all indications, there's more difficult work ahead given the new pressure on public higher education, but we're off to a very strong start. In the meantime, I'm pleased by our ability to make progress with the resources that we do have. For example, although hiring is not where we would like, we're able to at least move in the right direction. We expect more than 40 new faculty members to begin this fall, thanks to plans developed by the deans. Now, one aspect of Sacramento State that will not change is our vital importance to the region. We're finding ways to use resources that provide maximum benefit to our campus, to our students, and to the community that we serve. One example is the Department of Physical Therapy's move into Folsom Hall. The move is complete, and everyone is benefiting. 2 cohorts are underway in the Doctor of Physical Therapy program, and when the 3rd begins this fall, we will have increased the number of graduates in PT by 50%. The added space in Folsom Hall has allowed the department to launch the STEPS program, which provides no-cost treadmill therapy to children with neuromotor impairments. They had a nice piece on TV as well as a newspaper on that. Like the School of Nursing before it, physical therapy is using the enhanced facilities to strengthen its value to the community as well as to students, and this is precisely what we envisioned when we made the acquisition. Folsom Hall is well on its way to becoming the center for health professions, and the next department scheduled to move to Folsom Hall is speech pathology and audiology. Elsewhere on campus, we're moving forward on 4 initiatives that will have a big impact on the community. First, Viridiana Diaz, who's here this morning, is the new director of the Cerna Center. She'll expand the center's role in areas such as public policy, access for students, and civic engagement. Second, we have received a $75,000 grant from Wells Fargo to help our student veterans transition from college to civilian careers. Our Veteran Success Center has earned wide acclaim for its work to ensure the academic success of these students, and the new funding will build on that leadership. Third, the College of Continuing Ed and our CAMP program are following up on the success of last year's El Momento event by bringing it back to Sacramento State. Now, El Momento is a college festival aimed at promoting academic achievement and higher education for Latino families. More than 6,500 people came to our campus for the event this last year, and the 2nd annual event will be held on August 23rd. Next, the College of Health and Human Services is partnering with the Sacramento County District Attorney, Jan Scully, on the establishment of a Family Justice Center. Although at this point in its development, the Justice Center won't be on campus, the partnership will include opportunities for faculty research, for student internships, and community service in multiple disciplines. Already, the center is working with our Academic Technology and Creative Services unit on making a promotional video. Speaking of videos, I think everyone should have received a copy or seen it. Sacramento State's holiday card video has generated nearly 14,000 unique hits. The video was produced by the Office of Public Affairs and it eliminated the cost of producing and sending a paper card. We're making physical improvements to the campus as well, with the same methodical, value-driven approach that we've taken in the past. To help address the bottleneck in introductory chemistry courses, we've completed renovations of 4 labs. The work increased storage capacity for the glassware students need for the courses, and the department can now offer an additional 10 sections per semester. Over winter break, facilities also worked with IRT to upgrade 14 classrooms with smart technology. This is part of an ongoing plan to modernize our classrooms and resources as resources become available, and more classrooms are scheduled to be updated over the summer. Plans include development of space that can be used for learning in a collaborative seminar format, and we'll be seeking faculty input on how best to make that work. Facilities has taken the same step-by-step approach with exterior lighting on campus, with new lights being installed near the residence halls. The next area for improvement is coming at an ideal time in terms of resource management, and that is the restrooms on the campus. With California in the middle of another drought, water conservation has become a very hot topic in our state. Our campus, as many of you know, has bathroom fixtures from the 1950s and 60s, and these fixtures use more than double the water of current standards. So in the next months that come, we will be replacing bathroom fixtures across the campus, and thanks to a $78,000 grant money from the city of Sacramento, more than half of the estimated costs will be covered. In many cases, the new fixtures will use about 1/3 of the water. This will save water and money, and it will pay both environmental and financial dividends for years to come. I'll spare you the details, but I will say that for our campus, every flush counts. Yeah. That's because essentially, we pay twice for the water that we get from the city. We pay for every gallon of water that comes in, and we also pay for every gallon that goes into the sewer system. So this is really important. Now, another important change that some of you may have seen is the renaming of some of our roads. For years, there's been a lot of confusion about the perimeter road around the campus. For instance, no one really knew where State University Drive South became State University Drive West. And some of the interior roads didn't even have names. Earlier this month, we changed all of that. Based on the recommendations of a campus-wide task force, we've implemented new names for many of our roadways. The biggest change is that Collegetown Drive, if you come in through this side of the campus, now extends all the way around the west side of the campus, past the stadium and the softball field and the soccer field. Some of the shorter roads were given names based on trees as well. You can see all of the new street names on the interactive campus map that's online. This change will make our campus easier to navigate and assist police and fire personnel who use our roads when responding to emergencies. I want to thank the task force members who spent about 2 years, actually, on this process. Now, I can't mention roads without talking about traffic. At the beginning of last semester, as all of you know, we had more difficulties than anticipated, with cars backing up seemingly everywhere. UTAPS is looking at long-term solutions, and in the meantime, we'll continue to direct traffic throughout the semester as needed. This is a good time to remind everyone that the main issue we saw last semester was that drivers were circling the campus in search of a spot. We have sufficient parking capacity on the campus, but it's driving around that generally causes the problems. So, like Southwest Airlines, if you see a spot, take it, and don't count on being able to find your perfect spot. Southwest says that middle seat is yours. Now, we're going to do everything we can to alleviate the traffic issues that we had last semester. Now, I'd like to move on to an announcement that deals with the future of our campus. With our budgets and enrollments appearing certain in the near term, we hope to make headway in several different areas. The Student Housing Advisory Committee has been working on a proposal for more on-campus housing. The proposed site of the new 350-bed residence hall is in front of Desmond Hall. It would feature views of the American River, so it's going to go up, which has long been an underappreciated asset on our campus. If the project is approved by the Chancellor's Office, we hope to open for the fall of 2017. The new hall would likely be configured in pods that accommodate 10 or so students, and this configuration enhances privacy and community, which are both very important factors for students making choices on where they will live. Construction would be financed using housing revenues, so there would be no state dollars that would be needed. Traffic and student housing are two of the many considerations that have gone into the development of the campus master plan. I know that a lot of you provided feedback when the architect was on the campus this fall. Many of those suggestions are being incorporated, and the architect will be back this spring to present an updated design. Our goal is to submit a final document for the approval of the Board of Trustees this spring. Once that's done, we will seek ideas from interested parties on how the larger elements of the plan could be developed. Another component related to the future of our campus is the expansion of the University Union that we're in right now, and the Well. During the fall, the Union Well, Inc. Board of Directors, which are primarily students, launched an alternative consultation process to change the union fee. The goals were to expand the University Union and the Well, and build a student event center on the campus. And the process was very informative. We learned a lot about what students want, and we listened. After looking at all of the feedback, I felt that we needed to scale back the scope of the plan and reduce the proposed $250 a semester fee increase. As a result, I've asked the staff to examine how Sacramento State could address overcrowding in the University Union, where we are now, and the Well, without an event center. They're developing a modified proposal that would be more cost-effective for our students. The revamped alternative consultation will begin this semester, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward. Also this semester, University Enterprises will continue transforming the former Copy Graphics Center into a Starbucks. We had hoped to open this spring, but the schedule was pushed back, and we now are likely to open in June. So for those of you who have been waiting, it'll happen. Part of the problem has been it's an old building. We've run into issues with construction, and the contractor also had some issues that we had to deal with as well. So moving from caffeine to nicotine, I'm pleased to announce that Sacramento State will be a tobacco-free campus by the fall of 2015. This change stems from the recommendation of a campus-wide task force on tobacco and the work of a student group called Hornets for a Healthy Hive, and they're really persuasive, by the way. My staff and I met with students several times last semester, and I signed a memo calling for the tobacco ban. We're moving into this again. It will take effect into the fall of 2015. We wanted to give everyone ample time to prepare for the change, so we'll be using the ensuing months to make the campus aware of the ban and create a final policy document. It's my hope that this is going to be implemented a lot sooner, because now that people know that it's going to happen, we can begin to change those behaviors. Now, my final update this morning deals with Sacramento State's new strategic plan. The process is going very well, with many people from the campus and the larger community providing input. I encourage everyone to go online to the strategic planning website to submit feedback. The process will continue this spring, and we hope to have it completed by this fall. Now, my final announcement involves Sacramento State's partnership with the March of Dimes. The March of Dimes is the leading nonprofit organization supporting health initiatives for mothers and babies. You may remember that in the fall, I announced that I accepted an invitation to serve as a chairman of the March for Babies, which is a fundraising event that will take place on April 26th. I agreed to the offer because the campaign fits with our commitment to be a resource for the community. The campaign also gives us a chance to showcase some of our greatest strengths, such as public service, students and faculty who have very deep ties to our region, and educational excellence in areas that include healthcare as well as nutrition. This semester, we'll be ramping up our efforts for the March, and that begins today. Outside the ballroom, representatives from the March of Dimes will be available to share information on how to get involved with the March for Babies. They will also have computers set up so you can register to be a team leader in the fundraising effort. I hope that everyone on campus will get involved. By signing up as a team leader, you can recruit colleagues, friends, or students to support this very important cause. In fact, right after the speech, I'm going to go outside in the lobby and sign up. I invite you to do the same as well. In the coming weeks, we hope to announce prizes for the top teams and fundraisers. We have to make it fun, we have to make it exciting, and Sac State really has to have its presence in the March for Babies campaign. I know that a group of students from Family and Consumer Sciences has already signed up, so the rest of us are going to have to kind of catch up very quickly. So if you're interested, please stop by the tables outside this morning and sign up. Now, I want to thank everybody for coming this morning, as is my habit, my custom, I guess as it is. I want to get off the script for a little bit and reiterate a couple of things that I think are in the future for us again. Number one, we are going to be engaged in change. The Chancellor was here in Sacramento about a week ago, and I heard him speak to the auxiliary organizations. And the takeaway from his presentation was, we may not necessarily be rebuilding, we're going to be redesigning. That's what we have to do. It doesn't mean that we're going to be taking away, but as we add, we have to think differently as how we do it. So we're starting to rehire. We have modest increases in the budget. We've been very, very fortunate to have a group of leaders through UBAC and on the campus generally who have been very careful with the resources, so we're not facing huge discrepancies in our revenue and what we actually need to have this campus operate at a maximum level. That's the number one issue, and I don't want us to, as a community, to lose sight of that. It's a long process. For years and years, and for those of us who have been in the CSU for a long time, our model has been one based on formula. It's formulae for everything. I remember as a new faculty member, I looked at some of those formulas. It was just dizzying. We had two faculty members to an office. You had so many FTE, and you have so many staff members. All that's going away. So we have to put ourselves in a frame of mind. How can we do things differently? How can we redefine the possible, literally, to be able to meet the challenges of the future and ensure that our students still can get a quality education here at Sacramento State? Now, the second thing I want to say is, as we come out of, hopefully, the recession that we've been in, that we also think of how we can expand the community and serve our students in the most optimal way that we can. The student body is changing. I've looked at the demographics every year, and this is my 11th year here. Every year they're changing slightly, but they're changing. We have to take that into account. I see us not only as being a leader in the CSU, but we are Sacramento's four-year university, and we have to remember that. And we have to be proud that we provide that service, that dedication, those people that lead this community in the region. So with that, I want you to enjoy the semester, and let's work together to redefine the possible and our collective future at Sacramento State. Thanks for coming.